Hello and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, and today in the arena we are playing a life gain beatdown deck. This kind of cat strategy that you see very often is very popular with a certain group of players. Johnny's Pridemate seems like it has to be one of the most played cards in arena between casual and mid-ladder play. Once you get to the high ranks though, you don't see it as much, and that makes sense. Life gain as a strategy, especially in conjunction with beatdown, is very rarely strong. However, there are a number of cards currently in the format that lend itself to this kind of strategy, and we wanted to see how hard that we could push it. So today I'm playing life gain beatdown, something you don't see me do too often. I'll probably make some mistakes, but we're going to try it out anyway. Let's talk a little bit about the cards. I've got a handful of creatures that when they exist, they gain life, and I have a handful of creatures that benefit from that. So Healer's Hawk, Leonin Vanguard, and Ajani's Welcome isn't a creature, but they're all cheap ways to ensure that every turn you have the potential to gain some life. Then you have the cards that get the procs, the boosts from that life gain, and that's Ajani's Pridemate and Bloodthirsty Aerialist. They get bigger and bigger the more that you gain life. Ajani's Strength of the Pride makes more Ajani's Pridemates, which get bigger and bigger the more you gain life, while Ajani's +1 also gains you a lot of life. The 4 Ajani's Strength of the Pride is something I resisted, but eventually had to do for this deck because it's too important. The 0, if you have at least 15 life more than your starting life total, making 35 the magic number, exile Ajani's Strength of the Pride in each artifact and creature your opponents control. This is important because against, well, a Scapeshift player, unless they keep a Teferi on the board and make instant speed zombies, you can exile their zombie horde over and over. Smart players will play around it, but it does make it awkward, and if you're beating down with very large creatures, it can be the death blow. You just exile their board, swing in with your large creatures, and it's game over. Also hanging out to benefit from all that life is Resplendent Angel, sadly a card that is rotating, and one of the only serious cards rotating out of the deck, or else it would be something to keep an eye on going forward. But this is such a big part of your late game strategy. Whenever you gain 5 or more life in a turn, create a 4/4 White Angel. This card is so good that while this isn't exactly an Angel tribal deck, we run Bishop of Wings just because the triggers from Resplendent Angel, both when the angel comes into play and when the angel makes more angels, gaining 4 life for each angel becomes serious business. Then further on down the deck, we have a smattering of strong cards that synergize with the life gain. Removal spells like Nightmare's Thirst, Oath of Kaya, Vraska's Contempt just take out the most important thing the opponent has going on. Individual card advantage cards like Dawn of Hope and Bolas's Citadel try to keep us from flooding out and running out of gas. And Gideon, Sorin, Vona, and Lyra have the ability to take over a game on their own when the opponent is weak. Sorin can get back our Resplendent Angel, as well as give all our big things lifelink to gain even more life to push us towards the Ajani 0 ability. Gideon can hand out lifelink to other creatures, or just beat down, and protects us a bit from sweepers like Kaya's Wrath. And Lyra boosting the Angel Party and Vona paying 7 life to destroy all the permanents we want can take over a game. In the mana base, it's complicated. We want double white early, but we also need double black pretty early as well. So I'm going for a split down the middle with 6 of each basic. 4 Scoured Barrens because the life gain boost can be much more relevant here than the Scry on the Temple, and it's better on the budget. And we've got the dual lands. All right, I've introduced the deck. I'm very curious what's going to happen. A quick thank you to our sponsor, CoolStuffInc.com, promo code CGB5 if you would like to pick up some Magic cards, supplies, board games, or other cool stuff online. Thank you very much to them for sponsoring the channel. Let's go. We have an Ajani's Pridemate and some removal and Planeswalkers. If we draw some lands, the hand could be strong. Let's hope our opponent's playing some creatures themselves. It's a good day for ranked. The ladder officially reset, so I have nowhere to go but up, meaning I can play all the silliness I might want to play. Breeding Pool. The race begins. Just about anytime you see a Breeding Pool, you're in for an encounter with a ramp deck or a Scapeshift deck. Usually one of those two. There are other builds, but those are the most popular. And we see the Sultai colors. This could be an Explore deck. This could also be, let's see, could be a Scapeshift and a Yarick elemental style thing. So the big question this turn is, do we Oath of Kaya face to deal damage faster? And I think with a Nightmare's Thirst in hand, so that we have some kind of removal spell, let's do it. I think we have to be very aggressive, and we are a beatdown deck. Send in the pain. Next turn is very likely an Ajani Strength of the Pride. Here's a Lotus Field. So our opponent taking a slow path, but they will have access to a variety of colors. And a Repudiate to counter the ability. Counter target activated or triggered ability. They'll have 6 mana next turn. This is not a combo I have used often. Repudiate being a rare, I just don't see it. And like, I don't want to craft it very much, but this is something. How much should we anticipate that everything we play will die? Quite a bit. But I think Ajani starting to make Pride Mates is where we want to be on this particular turn. We could work on making one giant Pride Mate, but I don't like that nearly as much. Although hitting the opponent for as much damage as possible, there's an argument for it. And then next turn we could bring back the Sorin and it would trip 2 Pride Mates instead of 1. Alright. It doesn't play around Star of Extinction, but I have no idea what's coming now. My opponent is impressively a Mega Brewer. Let's see what they do now that they've repudiated their own Lotus Field ability to ramp up to 6 potential mana. It's Biogenic Ooze. Okay. Interesting. Any other plays for this turn? Perhaps I have another Lotus Field and they're deciding whether or not to run it out. Nope, just the tap plant. So here's Ajani's Welcome. I think that for sure we want to play this Ajani, but we have to decide what else to do here. I really do want this Nightmare's Thirst to kill this Ooze. And if we get into combat, well, that's really awkward, because how do I play the Thirst and the Ajani? I don't. So does that mean, yeah, letting the opponent untap with the Ooze seems very bad because they can make kind of endless jump blockers. But giving up on our lifelink cats, that's really tough too. The opponent, of course, can attack down the Ajani if we do that, but it triggers the Oath of Kaya, builds up our other creatures. This is a very difficult turn. All right, let's start here. And I think the opponent will chump block away. If they double block, of course, Nightmare's Thirst is very clutch. But here we gain a whole bunch of life. We're also setting up to be very close to playing Ajani and immediately wiping the board. So here is a Nightmare's Thirst on the Ooze. And here is an Ajani's Welcome on the board. At 34 life, if Sorin is still around next turn, a Sorin Plus gets us to 35, and Ajani can destroy all of our opponent's creatures. Risen Reef. If you ever do this combo, it's awkward to leave only your Lotus Field in play if you have multicolored cards in your deck. If the opponent just drew another Risen Reef, they can't play with Lotus Field, because it creates 3 mana of 1 color. Just something to keep in mind. However, Quasi-Duplicate works for sure. But this is going to lead to an Ajani Ultimate for lethal. Unless something else dramatic happens with one more land drop that the opponent has access to. So you see that the Risen Reef and cards like Biogenic Ooze also work very well with Replicate. So what an interesting build our opponent's thrown together. I'm really impressed. All right, let's get to 35 life. Strength of the Pride, 0. If you have 15 life more than your life total, exile a Strength of the Pride in each artifact or creature your opponents control.
I have let my friends down.
And in we go. Alright, so we've got a Vanguard into a Welcome, into an Aerialist, into a Pridemate. It's a good curve, can definitely be disrupted by any kind of removal. But we will keep. Gonna go a little lower on health from the get-go. I'd rather, because we're more of a beatdown deck, you usually go for the creature before the Welcome. In we go. Opponent's got the Thornwood Falls, so they might be on Scapeshift. A flying beats creature is going to be pretty important against that. And there's an Arboreal Grazer. That's a good block for the opponent. Teferi Time Raveler will be also just, if they have that, it's so bad for us, but we have to try. So play the land. We'll see if our opponent has the guts to make a block here. Editor, remove that. Let me know in comments if they removed it. Alright, no Teferi. One time, no Time Raveler. A time without Time Ravelers. Come on, baby. Come on. That's arguably worse. That ain't good. That ain't good. Alright. Bishop of Wings. No Angel yet. In fact, we haven't drawn an Angel in a single game so far. But let's get our Pridemate party going. Once again, Time Raveler would be a beating. So please don't. Alright, so we need to top deck Resplendent Angel. And Resplendent Angel plus Bishop is probably the only clock that can matter against Scapeshift now. At this rate, they're going to have a million zombies before we do anything. And a land. Well, that's not what I was looking for, but okay. We get to go off a little bit with the Pridemates here. You'll get to see some giant creatures. Unfortunately, I don't think they'll matter against the zombies. We play our creatures first now to trigger the Welcome. Might as well play this land, trigger the Vanguard, slam. That Grazer's been grazing. Been grazing a lot. Now how do I figure out how to splash a Thud into this deck? Oh, wrecked. Oh, it hurts so good. Oh. No. Wrecked by the deputy. On top, that's either a Hydroid Krasis or a Teferi. Nothing else ever stays on top. And another land? Alright. I has no patience for this. Oh. You win. You win. Ooh. So this is tricky because we don't have any of our very powerful cards. If we're keeping this, we really need to draw a Resplendent Angel, a Pridemate, or the Vampire within the first couple draw steps. And if we don't, our hand just doesn't do much. I'm going to take a gamble because we do have some powerful cards on our deck that can win on their own, and Vona is one of those. If we're against red, this hand is pretty decent. So let's hope for that. We're against like Esper control and they thought erasure us. This game never really happened. We'll just leave. It's fine. Like I said, nowhere to go but up when you're at the bottom of the ladder. There's a turn to opt out of a blue-white deck. That's fresh as a daisy. Okay. Well, another land off the top. Looks like this might turn into a non-game without a perfect top deck here. We're gonna need to get lucky. Our hand is just incredibly weak thus far, and now there's a Narset on the field. Looks like we're playing a Planeswalker deck. I mean, there's a chance they just can't kill a Vona, and there is a decent top deck. At least something that can dial up the pressure. Unfortunately, Deafening Clarion's probably gonna have none of it, but we don't see red sources yet. So we're gonna take the chance that they're not able to play this Clarion. Let's see. Let's see if they've got it. Because if they miss the Clarion this turn, Pridemate can get out of range. Opt to the bottom. They're trying to draw it. They're trying to draw the red source. Oh, it's tapped. It's tapped, my friends. All right. So our Bishop of Wings certainly survives it. Our opponent might have another board clear, but if they use it, we follow up with Vona, which is a very good follow-up. So it's worth running out a Bishop, entering combat. Now we do have some things that draw extra cards, but really it's just Dawn of Hope. So I don't really care about the Narset. With a Sarkhan, it might attack face, but that doesn't scare me much. And we can remove it later if we get an Ajani on the battlefield. Also, Sorin can pick it off very easily. We don't want to fill the opponent's graveyard too fast because of Search for his Kanta. So everybody is going to the face. All right, so a lot of 4 toughness now for this Deafening Clarion to overcome. The opponent will bin this opt. They don't believe they have time for any more opting. Here is a Foundry tapped, and they say go. Could this be a Settle the Wreckage? It's a card you don't see much anymore. If it is, I'm definitely going to play out this Resplendent Angel first. Because we'll get 2 Bishop of Wings triggers. And the opponent with an Absorb, they just play straight up counter magic in this deck. So it's a little bit old school. But I'm pretty happy because this opens the opponent up to the beats. Settle the Wreckage now wasn't up to save them. But it does make me think they could have a settle. I mean, it is possible. There's a Clarion. Is it another Clarion? Are they double Clarioning? Oh my god. Well, their hand has definitely played out okay. It hasn't been perfect, but they got there. They found the right cards. Now let's see if they can deal with Vona. As Kanta flips now, which is a huge problem. And Vona isn't very good against a deck that doesn't need permanence to win. I hate that card. I loved it at first, but even I, as a blue-white supporter, have come to hate this card with all of my being. Dawn of Hope. Won't do much, especially against his Kanta. If we attack here, the opponent can power up the Mobilized District, and then we don't get to hit the Teferi. Let's go for the Dawn and see if the opponent has a counter. And now we could make a bluff attack here. Try to hit the Teferi with the Vanguard. If the opponent has to activate the District, they don't get a use of his Kanta, which I think is important. Okay, they are going for the block. And I would too, I think. But at least we keep them often as Kanta use, which is about the most we can ask for. We traded our Leonin Vanguard for a card out of their deck, a spell out of their top 4. And honestly, their spells are probably better than the Vanguard. But I don't think we have a lot of hope. Our opponent would have to do something pretty stupid. Pretty stupid. And remember, there's this Narset. So the Dawn of Hope can't draw cards on our turn until we deal with the Narset. And there's Sarkhan. Here's a dragon. This is a very odd, like kind of old school-ish Jeskai control with Absorb in it, but also a host of Planeswalkers. It's a kind of a, you can tell it's like a bit of a mashup of things they like. Also, is Kanta in the deck? It's kind of strange. You don't see that too much. Alright, this can't even attack. It gets killed by the Sarkhan passive. This will, well, something bad will happen to it, I'm certain. Next turn, the opponent attacks for 16. But yeah, we've got to run this out. Once they attack for 16, we're going to have to gain life to even use the ability. It's not good. Pretty much as dead as it gets. The double Clarion. Ouch. They had to have exactly that turn. And they did. That's magic. And that's also life when you play a bunch of creatures that are all about stats, not about value, not about ability. Just balls of stats. Alright, the opponent's thinking about... Maybe they're thinking about activating the Azcanta because they feel they have to solve the Vona problem. I'm not even sure they have to solve the Vona problem. They have a 4/4 dragon. Like, plussing Sarkhan, getting him for 16 and making it so I have to gain at least 3 life before I can even use the Vona, it keeps me from even attacking. But the opponent takes an aggressive line. It pays off for them. They found Teferi, so they can bounce this. I mean, there's no reason to hold it back if I'm below 7 life, I guess. Well, I guess I could attack, gain life, then activate.
Trust me, I have a plan.
But you're going to bounce... You're bouncing this anyway. No, you're not. Let's go for a Pride Mate. I mean, I'm sure they have something. And they have the Mobilized District to try to block with, if they remember. This will die immediately, so we can't go with that. So what we need here is for the opponent to miss the Mobilized District activation, which I think is the only play we really have, because if the Sarkhan's on the battlefield, we lose anyway. And their last card must be something effective. Deafening Clarion, 3 damage to each creature. It doesn't do it, right? No, it doesn't do it. Weird choice. Very weird choice. So now there's no dragon, you see, so this ability resolving won't kill the Vona.
Listen to them roar.
So I think the opponent with an oopsie.
A dragon would rather die than lose.
We don't pay for the card because Narset's still in the battlefield. We wouldn't draw it. We play out our lands because the more lands you have with Dawn of Hope, the better. Now the opponent can bounce the Vona, hit me for 3. We can make a Dawn of Hope token, hit the Narset. I don't know. Let's see. Our opponent's giving us a chance. They've missed what I would call the optimal lines. And they found a shock. Here's the bounce. Teferi dies. Second time Raveler, of course.
I'm known for my excellent timing. Let's try this.
Alright. Token. Just begging to get shocked. And there's the shock. Easy mode. With another Teferi ready to go. This is pretty sad, but the other option is to make 2 Dawn of Hope tokens, which I think is better, rather than run either one into a Teferi activation. That's enough for me. Don't need to follow this scheme anymore. We were 1% anyway, but whatever. All right, we're missing double white, which is a little scary, but I'm going to put my faith in the deck to deliver. Okay. Looks like we get the vampire matchup. I could really use a 2-drop or another 1-drop. Taking this turn off on the draw is going to be really hard to recover from. Okay, some kind of black-red. Dreadhorde Butcher that didn't want to trade, and we did get a card that we can play here. Play the other black so that we have it available to go with the Aerialist. Let's hold back both creatures. Now, if the Butcher dies, it does trade with 2 things, which is a bit of a problem. So I don't actually want to trade. If the opponent attacks, I'm not going to block, but they don't know that. See, it held back the Butcher last turn. Let's see if we hold the Butcher back again. Nope. Well, I'll takes it. I need these. They pump up my critters. It's part of my plan. Knight. Knight doesn't grow because this only hit for 3. All right. Let's get aerial. Uh-oh, removal. Removal spell incoming. See if the opponent lets this trigger get on the stack. No, they do not. Ugh. Frustrating. Opponent deck too strong. All right. Hit you up Hawk style. Still not trading though. I need these creatures to buff my things. I don't really have a choice in the matter. I have to draw like a Vraska's Contempt or something for the Butcher, or just gain enough life to ignore it. The opponent's going ham, indeed. Down to 8. Feeling it. Feeling the pressure. Another Pride Mate off the top. We go with you.
I protect those who cannot protect themselves. Our true strength lies in our friendships.
And we make a 5/5. I mean a 4/4. Oopsie. Let's see what the opponent does next. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, I can block the Conquistador. Hope the opponent doesn't pull more removal. Ooh, do they care about the strength of the Pride enough to attack it? Huh. Sure. Alright, Eben at face, that makes sense. Definitely killing off the Conquistador as a bit of a freebie here. So hopefully we get to keep around our Pride Mate so that we can play Gideon into another Pride Mate, give the big Pride Mate lifelink, and try to swing this game back around. We're down to 4. And for a beatdown deck, it sure feels like we have to make a lot of comebacks. Sorin. Sorin's really good too. But I think it's Gideon, give this lifelink, and play this. So, start there. The stick, maybe we'll get to see what the opponent's working with. They might have another lightning strike based on what's going on, or they're just bluffing. It's possible. Oh boy. Yeah, probably not a bluff if they're holding it this long. You don't have to make the decision right now, but they do. They've chosen what they are going to shock. Interesting that they didn't shock the Pride Mate. So we could also give you Vigilance. Right now we have 2 blockers though. This can go here. This one just basically faces here, but it's a 4/4, so it forces a pump. But yeah, I think what we do is give lifelink here.
I will lend you my strength.
If we have a life total to take the hit from the Butcher, that makes their position a lot worse. If we're not forced to trade with the Butcher, we can be a lot happier, I think. Now, do we also attack with the Vanguard and just leave ourselves at, what is this, 10? Facing 1, 2, 3, plus 4, and then another 1, 2, 3? Yeah, we can't really do that, so it's just you. And now we try to get out of this turn with a board so that Vengeful Bloodlord can be another huge swing next turn. Here they come. So here, I think do I just chump the Butcher? The opponent's ignoring Gideon now. I could trade with the Butcher, but like I said, I want to keep my board. This is actually the bigger block because of the pumps. Does the opponent have something like a Heartfire? If they do, I could lose here. And next turn, this and this lifelink and a plus is lethal. So we just have to play not to lose. We just have to play not to lose. All right, what else you got? No creature. Here's Soren. Plus for face? I guess we can see if we hit first, right? Well, if the opponent has a Heartfire, they could activate it to kill the Soren while we're in combat, which would be horrible. So yeah, we'll plus first and make that not even an option. And the opponent scoops it up. A Heartfire with the Butcher could still keep them alive by throwing everything at the Soren. No, wait. No, they'd still be dead. They'd have to throw it all at the Pridemate. That could work, but yeah. Clearly that's not what they had. Probably another Shock or Lightning Strike. Ooh, toys. You want to see something cool, kids? When you play too much Magic and you open your packs, you get gems. Oh, never mind. Sometimes you get wild cards. What a lovely day. And this here Mastery Tree. Let's throw an orb on a thing. I don't know. You can get an orb over here, I guess. What's that? A Disfigure? A beetle? I got me a beetle? Okay. And what I got? There's the Disfigure, sure. Alright. Funky Knight. Yay, cosmetics, everybody. Do you like them shiny? Do you like them shiny? There you go. Vanguard, maybe Aerialist. We have to draw black. You know, if we draw a Pridemate, that's really good too. We'll try. We will try it out. So swamps are good draws. Other aggressive cards like Pridemates or Resplendent Angels are good draws. I think it's good enough reason to try the hand. We need the curve to come together. So come on, top of the deck. I think not a Plains and not another Aerialist. Okay. So I'm going to Shock here just in case. It opens me up to draw the swamp off the top to play the Aerialist on curve. Oh yeah, all three of them. I am ready for a Deafening Clarion, that's for sure. What does the opponent have up their sleeve for this turn? We're opting. We are opting. What's the card? Please don't kill one of them. A Shock here would be pretty good. Alright, Swamp. Swamp. Any creature's good. Oh, the worst draw. Alright. The game hates me. What can I say? The game is out to get me, friends. Am I just supposed to play Unclaimed Territory to name Angel or Vampire depending what mana I'm missing? Looks like our opponent's trying the Whizbangs. The incredibly slow Whizbangs. Alright. I have a feeling this will get countered. But we have to try. Brilliant. Now, how many of those do you think they drew? So I hit the attack thing. These aren't turning sideways or doing the job. What? Did my game lock up? Okay. Well, we got there. Lag? Am I lagging? What nonsense is this? Main phase opt. Probably looking for a land then. Alright. Any land that isn't a tap land is a Lyra. So if I draw Scoured Barrens here, you might see a Grown Man tilt. Must be a tough scry. What could that be? You can keep a Wizard's Retort here, right? Because you're clearly ahead. And as long as I don't pull ahead on this specific turn, the retort's good. So what do you scry this hard about? Maybe it's more lag. No! Oh god, not this. Not this crap. Alright. When I see it, I close right away, I reopen right away, and sometimes, every now and then, I get back into the game before I skip a whole frickin' turn. Thanks, Wizards. Good new glitch you invented. Hope it's, really achieving something. I hope somewhere on the back end it's preventing some issue. It is a beta. Just remember, it is a stinking beta. Hear that rope? That's my rope. Oh, look at the draw! Make the 2/2. Gives me the pumps. All right, whether or not to attack. So if this goes to 1 anyway, I definitely don't want to block this lava runner. So yeah, we're going to stay aggressive. What I was thinking about is if there's a lava coil, the opponent gets to kill the Ajani, but the Ajani won't be worth much after taking a bump from the Stormkin anyway. And there's a better chance of a Wizard's Lightning just taking Ajani off the board than there is a lava coil. Bye, Ashino. Ooh. All right.
I don't want to hurt you.
Really, dude? Really? You work out that much and you got no plans to beat someone down. We Dragonauts. There's one you don't see every day anymore. Instant or sorcery, +2/+0. But down to 1 card in hand. Boom. So that is a Lyra. 100% that's a Lyra. So do I want to trade off these Vanguards? This is going into a 6/6. Pretty sure I do. We could also get away with the Aerialist here. The opponent is tapped out. If they have a Wizard's Lightning, getting this propped now might be better than playing the Lyra. Because the Lyra will always be a 5/5. This can come down, get Wizard's Lightninged if the opponent even has 1 mana available, and then it's gone. I talked myself into it. Beefcake! Beefcake! The opponent will want to trade with these, right? Because as long as I have these, they keep growing. They're at 10. Do I take this trade? The opponent's low on resources, so who does a trade even favor? I think it actually favors them if they can get rid of these. And right now they can't trade for this. I think I'm better off getting chump blockers and holding these back. Plus they get 1 free block with the Dragonauts anyway, so at most I would get 2 damage through if they weren't willing to trade. But I really don't want to trade my creature that's giving +1/+1 to 2 different creatures for a Pyromancer that's doing nothing. And that's a scoop. They never even met Lyra. Holy cow. The way we started that game, I thought we weren't going to come back. Yeah, look at that beautiful rank that happens when you disconnect and connect back in. All right, after that brief fiasco, my client needs a nap. So we're going to end the video there. I hope that you enjoyed this video with the life gain beatdown strategy. When it works, it feels special in a way. It's a ball of stats deck with some synergy, and I can get behind it. I like having one-ofs of all these rare and powerful cards, and it's gonna be too bad that we're losing Resplendent Angel, who never really got to go off in these games, but you can see there's a shell there that might be good after rotation, and I know many people enjoy this style of deck, so this video is for them. If you are not one of those people, and you don't enjoy this deck, just wait 24 hours. There will be a new deck every day. That's the CGB way. Thank you for watching this video, and as always, I will see you in the next video. Like and subscribe, and goodbye.